It's 2025 and I won't be making my dream game this year. It seems to be quite a popular thing to go around or to make your dream game, make videos about my devlog or making my dream game. And I think this can be often quite a trap if they are actually trying to make their dream game, because I think to an extent it could be just a marketing thing. Searching on YouTube, you can find plenty of these dream game videos, some that you may have watched yourself to see how people are getting along. Because sometimes they are pretty interesting seeing people add features, especially from experienced or unexperienced, see them learn as they go through, or watch them stop making their dream game and the reasons why they did drop it, or some of the reasons why maybe they continue going for it. I think there's a bit of like sort of confusion when we think about a dream game, because a dream game for me would be like Grand Theft Auto, but it would be set in the United Kingdom and had a focus on melee combat. Because I think that would be interesting. It would be rather than the politics of the US or the culture of the US that they have in the current Grand Theft Autos. I think it'd be interesting to have the UK culture or get around and visiting the countryside of there in a souped up car. But this would be a fun game to play, not to make. The resources required to make a game of that size is astronomical, and you wouldn't really be making the game. If I were to actually make that game, I'd have to be leading the game, so I wouldn't do any of the fun stuff I would want to do, which would be development. And there's a lot of the features of the game that I just probably would not enjoy. I don't have any experience in really 3D game dev at all, so I wouldn't be any good in that. The dialogue, I'm not good at writing, and I wouldn't find that very interesting. And there's obviously all sorts of tedious things in it. The only part I would really enjoy would be the driving. Would be fun for me to implement. I think adding all the physics, the different cars and all the roads, the procedural generation of the world, perhaps some areas, if and so and so forth, the trees would be something I'd probably more enjoy. But I don't have any free experience, so that could be completely wrong. And so going into that, if there was ever any amount of money, I might actually hate it. So in the concepts of making my dream game, I think what we mean by that is a game that we can theoretically make on our own, or however big our team size is, and based on our skills. I think a prime example is just Stardew Valley. That was a game that was made by one person, so hand on the music, the art, and also all the coding, and it took them a few years to do it, and they did it. And if we look at the sales now, recently it surpassed 41 million lifetime sales. It is the iconic indie dream game. This is amount of money, the fame, and maybe not the fame, but the status of this developer is huge. He made it by himself and is now hugely successful because of it, and can probably never have to work ever again. A lot of beginner developers, junior developers, people who have just graduated or are still students look at this and think, well, if that person can make it, then I can make my dream game that is in sort of the similar vein to it. It's like a 2D farming or so and so forth game that's not doesn't seem very big from like especially compared to a AAA perspective, or you compare it to other indie games like look, they made this and it was this successful. In another video about how to learning programming by doing it components, I go over sort of the sort of barriers specifically with Studio Stardew Valley. If you wanted to make a game of that size, had all the combat, had all the farming, you would need split it into components and evaluate each section. And you realize actually that the game is very complex, because you still need the farming, the inventory, the chest storage, spatial partition, and I go into further detail on this of the issues. So, for example, the inventory system, you think of all the programming with that, an array, sort the array, so and then the array can be changed if the players want to sort inventory, and actually you could be spending such a significant amount of time on that segment, and it could be just out of your scope of your skill at the moment. You'll probably spend a long time making this game, years in fact. Stardew Valley took a long time to make, especially if you are a beginner and you don't have all the tools and knowledge ready yet. So you'll be learning along the way when making this game, and so that will take up a significant amount of time. You need to be aware that you're going to be sitting around doing a lot of that. You may have heard of this project Feline, which is a game that's currently being developed. And if you look at when the first devlog was uploaded, it was uploaded 6 years ago. So it is not a new thing. This person has been working on it a very long time. And for me personally, I don't want to be working on a game this long. And this is because of financial reasons. Because as you get older and you've got a mortgage and rent or other bills to think for, you can't really be sitting around making games for years. You probably are thinking, actually, I do want a monetary return to feel a bit more financially free. So for my plan in 2025 is to at least get one game out this year. I think that would be nice. A very small game that is about £5 or $5 on either Steam or Itch. I think Steam would be nice because that's the sort of game marketplace to go for. And my idea is to have at least a demo out on Itch first. And I'd rather build these smaller games experiences first and slowly build up that repertoire of knowledge and component codes. Because I'm also not developing in anything like Godot, Unity, or Unreal, where those components are already available to purchase. I'm building them myself. I like to have this deep understanding of how the system works rather than just taking components and getting them to work. And I also just like making the code really nice and optimized. And I'm just a fan of the old good old method of having a nice text editor up, writing something, and then running it and seeing the output, rather than the visual editors that you see nowadays in Godot, Unity using GDScript, and you just press in, you got these scenes. It's like, nah, I just like it. The switch in Union and just swapping between states. With these smaller games, I could just also cancel them if I think, hey, this is not working out, I'm not enjoying it, or it's just not fun. And then I can just end it rather than spending a very long time maybe thinking, no, I need to make this work now. I can't just cancel it now because I put some investments in, even if it's time or maybe some money investment into it because I paid for someone to do some of the assets or something. So it's better to have these smaller victories, I think, and learn from each one. So it's like, oh, if this game was okay, successful, it wasn't successful, I think, okay, this was what was lacking. This is what I should do next time, or this is what I learned from next time that I shouldn't do this. So they are the reasons why I'm not making my dream game in 2025. Would at one point in the future, would I ever do make my own dream game? Possibly, if I feel that I have learned and picked up all the skills required to make said dream game, then yeah, I would. It sort of becomes the new smaller game, and I feel confident I can complete it. But when you think about it, Grand Theft Auto 5, like the latest one, or even 6, they didn't technically take 10 years or 5 years, however long they took between games. They took decades. They learned from each game. So Grand Theft Auto 3, sort of where it started with the 3D. You look at Vice City, they build upon Grand Theft Auto 3, and when they get to San Andreas, they really built up on Vice City and added the swimming, they added the flying, they added the helicopters, and then Grand Theft Auto 4, they improved the physics and storytelling and so on and so forth. If you were to build those games from scratch, so start on the latest Grand Theft Auto and then try and do everything that they do, replicate it, you'd spend a much more longer time than they would because they already have all the knowledge, skills required, and all the code available. So that is my preferred approach, is taking this iterating kind of method of build something small and then you can build on top of that and keep building them so you can build these bigger projects rather than trying to jump straight to the bigger project, which may work for some people, but not for me. And so if you're interested of the future of me and, well, this channel, then do subscribe and like this video. That is actually probably my main goal of 2025, is to keep growing this channel and working on it and improve the content I upload. I have also approached an iterative point of view in this channel of upload something and see what went wrong and then improve on it in the next video and so on and so forth. So hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.